Great, thank you. I just popped onto YouTube the other day and checked one of the recordings. I generally never look at them, and it had all my sort of general chit chat at the beginning. So I suggested to Shannon that maybe we start the recording at the beginning of the actual session. And then, of course, I'm doing more chit chat telling you about that. So sorry, YouTube people. So I want to tell you a couple of quite beautiful things. The first thing I want to tell you about is that we have 2 robins in our garden that are making a bird's nest in our peg bag right by the back door. It's just amazing. I went to get some pegs out yesterday and I thought, why is there all this dirt in the peg bag? And then today there's like a proper little nest there. So I'm telling you that because it's a reminder to pay attention. You know, I could easily have just walked past that. But if I hadn't been looking for the pegs, I probably would have just walked past it and not even noticed. And it is a thing of wonder. It's a thing of absolute wonder that there's a little house being built in our peg bag. And of course, that's future life. So perhaps that's something we could all just, form an intention to really notice the world around us. And at this time of year here in the Northern Hemisphere, there's just all kinds of really amazing things happening. And, that's a kind of, it's not an exceptional, amazing thing. There's birds nesting all over the place. And if we pay attention, we can see that. Although it is terribly exciting having it in the bird bag, in the peg bag. The second thing I want to tell you about, and I'll base the meditation around this evening, is something called the Red Dress Project. Don't know if any of you know about this, but I was in a meeting today and somebody told me about it. And then there's a gorgeous poem that we can connect in with this. So the Red Dress Project has been going from 2009 to 2022. So that's 13 years. And 343 embroiderers from 46 countries have all contributed to the creation of this most amazing red dress. And it's mostly people from marginalized communities, people living in poverty. So it's one of these projects with no borders. So there's an artist from the UK who started the project, and then she's gone all over the world, and she's invited all these people from all these different communities who've got all these amazing skills of embroidery. So many indigenous populations have their own approach to embroidery and sewing and making things. And now there is this red dress. And maybe I'll put in the chat box what the web address is. It's reddressembroidery.com. So I really recommend you have a look at that later. It's just so stunningly beautiful. And I thought it was very relevant to what we do here on Tuesday nights, where we all come together with no borders. We're coming here from lots of different countries. We've all got different circumstances. And if you like, we all weave a dress every Tuesday evening of all of our experience, all of our shared experience. So you could call this sort of meditation without borders in our Space to Breathe sessions. And this dress weighs 6.2 kilos. And when you go to the website, you'll see all these different people wearing it. It's absolutely stunning. It's on exhibition around the place, so it will come probably near you at some point or another. Really, really beautiful. And I also think it's a lesson in the power of small acts. So there's just all these people, 343 people doing individual little stitches, just one stitch at a time. And then you create collectively this most extraordinary thing, this most beautiful dress. So the power of small acts, the power of these moments of paying attention and meditation, the power of these moments of being present to our own body, heart and mind, and then all the acts that come out of that. So you could say that every day of our lives is like weaving together or embroidering a thread, a beautiful pattern of all of our actions, all of our thoughts, all of our wishes for well-being in the world, and so on. That's interesting. And Susan's saying there are red dresses hung on the trees going up the highway north of Victoria. Not the same, but similar meaning, I believe. That is amazing. So you drive down the road and there's lots of red dresses hanging at the side of the road. How stunning. Fantastic. Good. So we're going to do a practice tonight, which will be just sort of dropping into our own body, heart, and mind, getting a sense of the threads of our life, imagining that we are weaving a little pattern tonight, something that's perhaps a little more beautiful than the way we sometimes feel, because we're stopping and we're just bringing tenderness to our experience. And then I'll move on to connection, where we can have that sense that we are weaving some kind of collective human experience together with our intentions of kindness, our intentions of connection, and so on. Okay, so let's begin. If we just choose a meditation position where we can be as comfortable as possible and yet alert, that's the main criteria. And I always say to be fussy about how you sit. So if you another chair will be more comfortable, then go and get the other chair. If you need a blanket, if you need a cushion, then go and get those things.
Vidyamala,
Yes.
sorry, I've just realised it's not streaming properly on YouTube. So should I hit manually record and I can upload it if I do
Yeah.
it that way, just so at least I catch the meditation?
Good. Thank
Is
you.
that all right? Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Lovely.
Sorry about that.
No, it's really great that you interrupted. I appreciate that.
Um,
It's amazing that you even. Yeah. So as I said, just getting ourselves set up in a position where we can be as comfortable, at ease as possible, and yet alert. And beginning to settle into the position that we've chosen when we're ready. Closing the eyes if that's comfortable, or else lowering the gaze. And having a sense of awareness dropping down into the body and the body resting on the surface that you're sitting upon, that you're lying upon. See people getting really comfy out there. That's good. And I've got a poem by Edith Södergran, Swedish poet, called On Foot I Wandered Through the Solar Systems. That's the title. On foot I wandered through the solar systems before I found the first thread of my red dress. Already I have a sense of myself. Somewhere in space my heart hangs, emitting sparks, shaking the air to other immeasurable hearts. On foot I wandered through the solar systems before I found the first thread of my red dress. Already I have a sense of myself. Somewhere in space my heart hangs, emitting sparks, shaking the air to other immeasurable hearts. So let's just really have a sense of arriving into the body, into the moment. And seeing if we can soften any quality of gripping onto the body, the heart, or the mind by allowing the body to be fully held and supported by the chair and the bed, the floor. And seeing if we can gratefully receive that support. So often we resist and pull away from gravity, from the floor, from the earth. Let's see if we can yield and soften and rest. moment by moment. If your awareness feels caught up in the head, as it often does, tangled up in thinking, seeing if you can allow your awareness to slide and to pour out of the head and to fill the body all the way down to the tips of the toes. The tips of the fingers. Seeing if we can rest right inside the body. Feeling temperature, sensation, maybe buzzing, tingling. So first of all, let's be aware of the legs and the feet. Feeling the contact with the floor or the chair or the bed. If you've got pain anywhere in this part of the body, noticing any tendency to harden and contract and rigidify against the pain with awareness. Seeing if we can soften a little bit, allowing what we label pain to be a flow of sensations flowing through the moments, never exactly the same, one moment to the next. Being aware of the buttocks, allowing awareness to inhabit the buttocks, feeling the contact with the chair or the bed, the floor. Seeing if we can yield down through this area, letting the buttocks be soft. And allowing awareness to feel the whole torso now as well. So it's like awareness is filling up through the body. Being aware of the front of the torso, the belly and the chest. And being aware of the whole back of the body, being aware of the sides of the body. An opening phase on the in-breath, subsiding phase on the out-breath, and the whole torso. 360-degree breathing. Allowing this to be effortless, there's no need to force or strain. Vitalizing on the in-breath and then yielding, releasing with each out-breath, yielding back up to gravity, up to the chair or the bed. Again, if you've got discomfort anywhere, Noticing if there's a tendency to harden, contract, resist. In the noticing, releasing, softening, yielding a little bit more, flowing a little bit more. Now including the shoulders and the arms, hands, fingers, thumbs. So we could imagine that awareness is pouring through the shoulders all the way down to the tips of the fingers and the thumbs. Having the hands supported so that the shoulders can release away from the body into gravity. We're not gripping and holding on the shoulders. And coming up now into the neck and the head. So they too get full of awareness. Let's see if we can experience the head as a limb of the body. So often we experience the head as separate from the body. But the head is a limb, just like the arms and the legs are limbs. So feeling the physicality of the head, the sensations, temperature. Maybe even having a very subtle sense of the air against the skin of the face. Letting the face be soft and the jaw soft. And now broadening to be aware of the whole body, the legs, torso, arms, neck, head, face. But rather than conceiving it as the body, let's have a sense of the process of embodying moment by moment. The arising of sensation and the passing of sensation in the whole body. The arising of breathing, the passing of breathing in the whole body. If your body feels dull or numb or you can't feel sensation for whatever reason, then being aware of that, making that your awareness practice. And tuning into our emotional weather. It's the broad sense of our mood, our emotions, letting go of any harsh judgment, being curious. It's a beautiful line from the poem, somewhere in space my heart hangs, emitting sparks, shaking the air. Sense of a vibrant heart. If your emotions are difficult or challenging in any way, then seeing if we can bring a little bit of kindness towards this experience. Feeling the stability of the whole body to support our emotions, whatever's going on. Just like our experience of embodiment is a process, a flow, seeing if we can bring this to our emotions as well. Feel into their fluid and changing nature. And now staying grounded and centered and stable, let's open our awareness or expand the circumference of our awareness to include all the other people here meditating with us. There's 100 of us now. It's like we're all embroidering this extraordinary red dress together. We're all weaving this experience of being alive right now. And the poem says, somewhere in space my heart hangs, emitting sparks, shaking the air to other immeasurable hearts. So we all have these wonderful, immeasurable hearts connecting through our imagination, through the practice. If you find it helpful, you can imagine with each in-breath, awareness of one another pours into our heart. And with each out-breath, well-wishing, goodwill, kindness flows out, pouring into one another. But being careful not to force or strain, it's just the natural breath. If it doesn't work for you, then finding some other way to feel into this shared human experience that we all have right now. Again, staying centered and grounded, checking that the body's still yielding into the support. Let's open our awareness even more to include all life everywhere, or breathing in and out, just like us. Including the people of Ukraine. All the people affected by the war in one way or another. Acts of tragedy, acts of kindness. people just like us. People in other war zones. People in peaceful countries. People who are happy, people who are sad. People who are asleep, people who are awake. All the birds nesting. All the animals. All part of this extraordinary tapestry of life that we're all weaving together moment by moment. Now bringing the weight of the body to the foreground of awareness as we begin to bring the practice to a close. Resting, yielding. So bringing self-awareness very much to the foreground. This breathing body, this body with its pains and its pleasures. Letting everything flow. Feeling into one's own immeasurable heart. And let's let go of any effort for a few moments at the end to absorb, assimilate. Now bring a tiny bit of movement into the body, the fingers and the toes perhaps. Seeing if we can keep the breathing fluid, the body soft. It's always so tempting to grip as soon as we begin to move. So releasing that impulse. Coming into bigger movements in our own time and opening the eyes if we've had them closed. And bringing the practice to a close. If we want to, we could perhaps form an intention to take this quality of sort of grounded self-awareness as the basis for open connection with others. Yeah, two sides of the same experience. So if anyone wants to just slip away, then of course you can do that, and I wish you well. See you next week. If anyone wants to stay, what we usually do is people write what they experienced if they want to in the chat box, and I'll read it out so that we can all participate. Those of you who can't see the screen.
Sorry, would you want me to pause the recording there, Vidyamala, before people share?
Oh yeah, good idea. Yeah, thank you. If you pause.